question I would like to ask is Stewart, who's been working with Peter and who helped co-found Hidden Trails Sri Lanka. Peter, Stewart, you've started off as a guide in Papua New Guinea, and you have since then come to Sri Lanka and worked with a lot of local guides. What do you what do you think customers look for in a trekking guide or adventure guide, and how would you say is the importance of health and safety for guides, and would you have any tips and tricks for guides in terms of gaining knowledge on health and safety, etc.?
Thanks, Maxim. Great question. I'll probably answer the second one first, and that's all. There's a theory called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and Maslow's was a philosopher who talked about the progression of a person, and at the bottom, people can't enjoy themselves or develop or open their insights unless you get the basics right. And the basics is a place to go to the toilet, a place to eat, a place to shower and wash, etc. Above that is then safety. So people need to feel safe. So in relation to the foundation building blocks of every guide, a guide has to get the logistics right of those basics, and then it has to ensure that the people feel safe. The second thing is about the importance of the guide and the development of the guide. And there's a famous saying that people will forget what they see, they will forget what they hear, but they will never forget how they feel. And that's the role of the guide. The guide is to inject this feeling of adventure, of being important, etc. When people come back from Sri Lanka who have toured with me, yes, they talk about Adams Peak, and yes, they talk about the elephants and etc. But they really talk about the people, how welcoming they were, the characters, the diversity across the board. So the role of the guide is to introduce and host our guests to Sri Lanka to the people, and then you can't lose. Everything else above that becomes a bonus.
Yeah, just a small follow-up to that. So Stewart, you've worked a lot with Sri Lankan guides, training them, providing them tips and tricks on health and safety, and just what you just mentioned. How do you see the potential of Sri Lankans, and do you see language barrier, which is often one of the issues? Do you see it as a big challenge, or is it something that can be overcome?
I think it's very much something that be overcome. One of the beauties of the Sri Lankan people is they're very virtual. Their hand movement, their gestures, etc. And that means a real lot to people. Probably the challenge to an up and coming guide is to understand that they can actually get out of their comfort zone. That there is a very much when I work with the other Sri Lankan guides, we are very much a team, and they are my eyes and ears, etc. And sometimes I find that the Sri Lankan guides can not speak up because of respect, because they see me making a mistake or an error, and they don't want to speak up out of respect. But to a certain extent, that disrespects me, because it's really important that I get that feedback, that I can become better at what I do, and that we are very seen as a team. So I hope that answers your question, Max.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for those insights. It's I think, yeah, like you said, it's one of the most important things, especially in these trekking expeditions and adventure-based tourism, is having a good guide. And yeah, thank you for those points. I'm sure it'll be very helpful for a few people.